We're going to get the party started today, so gather yourselves. And I thought I'd have to do it all for myself. Why don't you stand up, get ready to sing. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to, what are we gonna do? Let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say. Here we go. I release and I let go. I let my spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Again, I release and I let go. I let the spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here. One more time, I want to hear it. I release and I let go. I let the spirit run my life. Heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Nice job.
Welcome everybody, and please remain on, but I just want to welcome you and remind you, please silence your cell phones if you have not yet done so. And with that, we're going to continue with this party.
Woo! Here we go. If it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. If I seek the truth, let me speak the truth. If I'm lost in doubt, let me believe. I know I can be the change I want to see. So if it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. If I'm tired and stressed, let me stop and rest. If I'm feeling hurt, let me forgive. I know I can be the change I want to see. So if it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. If I dream of peace, let me be the peace. When I start from love, I am love. I know I can be the change I want to see. So if it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. You know it's up to me. You know it's up to me. If it's to be, you know it's up. There you go. Me too.
I invite everybody to please take your seat unless you are born in the month of January. If you are born in the month of January, don't sit down. Please come forward so that we might bless you on your birthday month. And I know somebody has to have been born in January. Really? Really? Nobody is born in January?
Mickey!
You're not alone. You are all right.
Heard the call.
Let's bless them. Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, you're wonderful. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you, you're wonderful. God is blessing you now.
Thank you. Please join with me in prayer as we pray the Spirit's unfolding vision prayer. Guided by divine wisdom, inspired by divine imagination, centered in divine love, and knowing that God is our source, we boldly move forth in faith as we allow Spirit's expanding vision to unfold in our lives, the life of the spiritual community, and in our world. Thank you, God. Amen. And now we have to get our exercise in, so please return to your feet and join in singing and praying the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Now, please be seated. It is time. Hang on a second.
You know what? I messed up the order of service, and I forgot to put the daily word on there.
Everything is in divine order.
Yes.
Don't mess up.
Yes.
It's
So
right on time.
we saved the best for last, in other words, right?
Are you here for a reason
And a season
and a season?
to love.
Then you're here to give me a hug.
Heart to heart, my love. Heart to heart. Good morning, beautiful people.
Good morning.
Are we alive this morning? Are we alert? Are we ready for 2025? Well, if we're not, maybe the daily word can inspire you to step into whatever that is that you are affirming for yourself this morning. And so our daily word this morning is strength, the power of strength. And our affirmation for this daily word is God's strength is my strength. So just relax in your seats and allow these words to really, truly fill you in body, mind, and spirit. If I identify solely with my human nature, I may feel daunted by my cares and duties and by the state of the world itself. When I feel small or ill-equipped to face troubling situations or uncertain circumstances, I remind myself I am never without the power of divine strength within me. The awesome strength of God is inexhaustible and without limitations. Anything I may be called to face is no match for divine strength. As I grow in spiritual understanding, I realize I need not pray for God's help. Instead, I claim the strength of God as an aspect of my divine identity. I affirm, divine strength is mine. I am strong in spirit. As these words grow in my consciousness, I feel better able to keep life's struggles in perspective and remember I am strong in God. And from the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3, verse 19, the scripture that's supporting this daily word today reads, God, the Lord, is my strength. So I pray that you remember that as you go through the rest of this week. Allow it to be that foundation to help you. And so after service, I am the prayer chaplain on duty, although you know there's 5 of us, but there's only 2 of us here. So anyway, if you need me, allow me to serve you in affirmative prayer, the unity way. God bless you all. Happy 2025.
Thank you, Wanda Fay. And by the way, I've only done this order of service like a couple of hundred times, so I'm not going to allow you to throw yourself under the bus.
You know what, it actually does say it on there, so we're all good.
Okay, we're all good. All right, so now it is time for the blessing of our children. I invite our children and their teachers to please come forward so that we may do that.
Silence during your service for those.
Pardon me?
You can be doing a moment of silence needed for New Orleans victims.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Don't forget to do a moment of silence for the New Orleans victims.
For who?
New Orleans victims.
Please join me in blessing them. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you and know that you are empowered to do great things.
I am walking in the light, in the light, in the light. I am walking in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light of God.
Before you go into the song. There is a difference in the order of service today because we are going to engage in 2 very separate and very powerful rituals that complement one another. And just some logistics. Everybody should have a little white piece of paper upon which, during the meditation, if you have not yet done so, you will write on the piece of paper something that you wish to eradicate or remove or take from your life that is no longer of any service to you. And then, at the end of the meditation, you will come up and you will expose that piece of paper to this candle, and what you're holding is flash paper. Don't get spooked. It's supposed to go poof. If it does not when you light it, just drop it into the sand and everything will be just fine, okay? So I just want to get that out of the way before we go into meditation with some beautiful music by Kitty.
All is well, I can rest, I am safe. All is well. Please join. All is well, I can rest, I am safe. All is well, 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 I can rest, I am safe, all is well.
I love the positive thought, all is well. It's so hard sometimes to come to grips with that reality, that truth, that all is well. There are so many annoyances, so many disturbing distractions in life. There is so much pain. There's misunderstanding. There's loneliness. There's alienation. It is something that is inescapable. At one time or another, each and every one of us is plagued with one of these or more of these. But now, in this moment, I just want to invite you to thoroughly relax. Take a nice deep breath and inhale the comfort of the gift of life, and then let it go. We don't think about it, but we let it go in the knowing and the comfort that that inhalation of life is constant, repetitive, with each breath we take. Each breath is an affirmation of the Spirit of God that dwells within each and every one of us. And so we are okay with dispelling that breath, and we embrace that action in this meditation as a conscious moment of ridding ourselves of everything and anything that wants to deprive us of the fullness, the richness, the beauty, the power, the splendor of what it means to be alive. I invite you to listen closely. Not to me, but maybe my voice could be a guide to take you to where you really need to listen this morning. Deep within the depth of your own being. Deep within your heart. This morning, there is no need to run from what troubles you. This morning, there is no need to try to hide from the difficulties, the pain, the grief that you may be living. Perhaps the loss of a really significant relationship in your life. As we listen this morning, we conjure up those things that so disturb us, so disrupt, not to dwell in them, but to affirm their powerlessness over us, to rid ourselves of them, and to dispel them. There is no reason to be afraid. We are truly in a safe space, a space that we grow in sanctity and in spirit. And so I invite you now just to take a few moments of silence. Allow yourselves to think about some of those things that hold you back, that hold you down. And as something comes to mind, take that little piece of paper and identify it. Write it down. Acknowledge it. And soon you will be blessing it by disclaiming it. And I give you now a few seconds to dwell in the silence, to do this in a very active way. And now I will lead you in this ritual by taking the paper upon which I have written those things that I wish to shed and allow it to burn. As you are ready, I invite you to come forward and do the same.
I have been holding on. I have been cursing the river. Oh, I have been banging against the banks. Help me to trust in the flow. Let go. I have been dreaming of oceans and oceans of mercy. Oh, no longer grasping to make it safe. Help me to trust and move on. It's done. Oh, river, river, I am afraid sometimes, afraid of your power, afraid of my weakness, afraid that your will swallows mine. Oh, river, river, when I let you take me, how we laugh, how good you feel. I have been holding on. I have been cursing the river. Oh, I have been banging against the banks. Help me to trust. Help me to trust. Help me to trust in the flow. Let go. Let go.
Thank you, Kitty. Thank you, Jennifer. And if any of you had, oh, sorry. If any of you had the gumption to write down on a piece of paper Reverend Mike's sermon, okay? Because I'm going to speak anyway, okay? And has anybody done any New Year's resolutions? A few people? Okay. I only did one, and that was I have resolved to lose 10 pounds. And this morning, when I weighed myself, I'm on my way because I only have 12 pounds left to go. But here we are in the new year. And there is something that is special about it that takes place across the globe. I think it really is a time, if people don't deliberately move into prayer, very specifically, they are really praying and hoping for some sort of a new beginning. After the service today, we are going to undecorate the church. And by the way, we welcome everybody and anybody who is able to participate in this so that we can get it done, and then go downstairs and enjoy some camaraderie along with some food and all those other good things. And I suspect that you have done or will soon be doing the same thing in your homes, undecorating your homes and taking all of the Christmas stuff and putting it into storage. And I was giving some thought about this, and it's understandable, because to leave everything up, all of the gold and the glitter and the trees, and to continue to dwell in the artificial lighting of the season, just would not be right. There's a sense in which we have to get on with it. And whatever that it may be that we are going to get on with, it is something that is determined by each and every one of us individually and by us collectively in a very real way. And it's not about returning to normal, although it could be, and sadly would be if that's what we were doing, but it should really be about creating a new normal. Making something different about ourselves and about our lives. And so today, we deliberately enter into that process, because it's not a one and done thing. It's a process. Solving the problems in life and figuring out what life is all about doesn't happen with the snap of a fingers and then you move on. It's a firm commitment to engage in a process of rediscovering your purpose in life, clearing out everything that's in the way of that, and replenishing it with something more positive, more real. I do not know what individuals felt as they wrote down those things in their life that they wish to dispel and set them to flame. I hope that you felt some sense of joy, some sense of liberty, some sense of freedom, some sense of excitement and exuberance. Maybe if you were really engaged in the process, you also felt at least a twinge of discomfort. Because the whole purpose of the exercise is to let go of everything and anything that is holding you down, keeping you down, or retarding your progress to realizing your purpose on earth. And the reason that we ritualize this is not to conjure up some sort of external magic that is going to come along and change our lives. We engage in the process for the purpose of reawakening within ourselves that we actually have the wherewithal within us to get this done. But I mentioned this whole thing about discomfort for a reason, because if we are really serious and engaged in the process, we have to be letting go of something that has been defining us. We have to be a little bit different person walking out of here today than we were walking in today, if we are at all engaged in that commitment. And it's really tough because even the things that are not healthy for us, like sugar, is something that brings us comfort. Something that gives us a sense of stability or normality. And so if you wrote something down like that on the paper and you're taking it serious, you have to be feeling somewhat of a void, an emptiness, a vulnerability, because something that you constantly were relying upon and living and not even thinking about it, and whether it's a habit, an addiction, a bias, a prejudice, a hatred, a resentment, a grudge. If you burn them up on a piece of paper, that's wonderful. And if you were really sincere in the exercise, you got to be thinking, what is life going to look like if I can't watch Wheel of Fortune anymore because I burnt it up on the piece of paper? But because there's this emptiness that we create when we get into denials, because that's really what we're doing here. This is a overt depiction of what denials is all about, letting go of those things that no longer serve us, regardless how long they have been with us and how near and dear they have grown to become in our minds in terms of who and what we are. We stepped forward in a big way and we prayed this together. And that's why we engage in a short while in the follow-up ritual of the white stone ceremony. If you do not fill the gap, if you do not fill the void that you created in participating in the burning bowl, the universe does not like voids. And something else will come along and fill it, whether you want that to happen or not. So the whole purpose of the white stone ceremony is to take charge of your life and allow your possibilities, your potentialities, your inner peace, your inner love, your inner beauty to come alive in a new and different way. Rituals can be overdone. They could be a series of going through the motions because that is something that we always did. Or we can elevate them to the divine by exposing our own divinity in the process. It's really not complicated. You know, you could give somebody a kiss and give them a kiss. Or you could mindfully give somebody a kiss in which you convey to that person complete, unconditional acceptance. And the same thing is involved in what we're engaged in this morning, in what we're trying to be about this morning. And going back to that feeling of discomfort, which, by the way, calls to mind one of my favorite gospel stories. You know, when the rich man said, "What do I have to do to get into the kingdom?" And Jesus said, "Go and sell everything you have. Give the money to the poor and come follow me." It was a comfort that the rich man was not willing to relinquish. And I mentioned that brief gospel story this morning because if you want it to happen, if you want to rid yourself of whatever might be plaguing you, if you want to ascend to new realities and new potentials and new possibilities, you got to be invested. So I'm hoping that what we do today, what we participate in today, doesn't end with the actions that we take today, but we make a conscious, deliberate effort to carry them forth and be with us on a sustained basis. And make no mistakes about it, whatever you burned in this bowl here just a few minutes ago, it's going to be annoyingly persistent. And come back, whether it takes the shape of pecan pie, which is always calling to me, or anger in reaction to something that somebody in our lives says to us and drives us absolutely crazy, or the next cigarette or the next drink or whatever. These things do not go quietly, which is, again, precisely why we are so exacting this morning in what we are doing. We recognize that, but we are all about solving and resolving the puzzles of life through a firm resolution. Interesting. That's one of the things I have to do is let go of the stupid watch. One more point. It is so very important for you to understand that you are not alone. You may feel alone. You may feel left out. You may feel ostracized, alienated, separated. But it is impossible. It is absolutely impossible to shed the truth, the beauty, the reality of the divine that burns within you. It cannot be done. But you can choose to ignore it, which takes you right back to whatever it is that you set fire to this morning. You are not alone. And what is the reason we come together here in this church family, not just on Sunday mornings, but at other times? Because each and every one of us is a living testimony to everybody else that you are not alone, that I am here for you, and that we share a oneness that is not just real, it is tangible. And it's so important for us just to dwell and understanding that as we write in just a couple of minutes, begin to write on those white stones, that which we affirm for ourselves. It's not about what's etched in stone. It's about what is carved in our hearts. Let's move forward.
I'm going to do a very simple chant, and just anytime you feel like popping in, pop in and chant it with me and affirm it. We're going to use there's two different sets of words, and we're going to use the more affirming one, the I'm making room for grace right now, as you're thinking about what you're going to be writing on your stone. I'm making room for grace. I am stepping aside. I'm opening up a space. Now the blessings arrive. I'm making room for grace. I am stepping aside. I'm opening up a space. Now the blessings arrive. I'm making room for grace. I am stepping aside. I'm opening up a space. Now the blessings arrive. I'm making room for grace. I am stepping aside. I'm opening up a space. Now the blessings arrive. I'm making room for grace. I am stepping aside. I'm opening up a space. Now the blessings arrive. I'm making room for grace. I'm stepping aside. I'm opening up a space. Now the blessings arrive every day. I'm making room for grace. I'm making room for grace.
And now just take a few seconds of silence. Allow your minds, your hearts to soar. What is it that you dream of? What is it that you hope for? What is it that you thought had been out of reach? Now's the time to reach for it and to inscribe it. Pencil it in on your white stone. Allow the white stone to become a tool, not magical in and of itself, but something that allows you, that reminds you, that encourages you to tune into the insistence of God and Spirit in your life. Let it be an inscription of dreams not yet realized, but so passionately desired. Let it be just a single word or a couple of words in which you, in this now moment, decide to redefine yourself in a way that brings you in a closer nearness and proximity to the truth of your being. And I'll just give you a few seconds now to give that thought and to write it down. And we close now this meditation with prayer. Prayer of gratefulness, of thanksgiving, acknowledging the presence, the annoying presence of Spirit in our lives, who just keeps insisting on us that we are called to something bigger, better, greater, holier than what we now have been experiencing. And we do so, loving Spirit, whether we are really, really down on our luck or whether we are feeling pretty good about ourselves and life in general, we understand that you are lovingly selfish and you want more. We rejoice in that, Spirit, and we give you thanks. And so it is. Amen. Thank you again, Kitty. And now it's time for our love offering, our sacrament of giving and receiving. By the way, your contributions in its own different way is also a writing on a stone of what you are about. It's a tangible expression of your commitment to this church family. And we give you thanks for that, and even greater thanks for the awareness that we have of how present you are to one another and the giving of yourselves to one another so generously. So please join me in praying our affirmations. God is my instant, constant, abundant source of supply, and divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all the good that I am, I have, I give, and I receive.
Divine love
Flowing through us blesses and multiplies all the good that we are, we have, we give, and we receive. Okay, that takes us to the announcements. As I mentioned before, please stay after today's service to help undecorate the church. Every bit of effort makes this job go faster, and we really appreciate all of the help. The men's group is scheduled to meet online this Tuesday. Gentlemen, we hope that you can make it. I know one person has asked for login information. If you didn't get it, let me know. We'll get it to you. And any other gentlemen who might be interested in seeing what the men's group is all about, I would really encourage you to do so. And you could check with the office or with myself or Rick McKay for the login for the meeting. Next, there will be no healing and wholeness service this month. Please join us for this wonderful service again in February. Next Sunday after the service, stop by Marge Orchard's table to get an autograph and purchase her new book entitled, "And I Came to Be." The women's group is meeting after the service next Sunday. Ladies, we hope you plan to attend. It's going to be very special. Oh, we don't have that there. Okay, yeah, we do. Because it's going to involve a drum circle that is going to be led by a couple of people. If you do not have a drum, you feel free to come. If you have something that rattles or shakes or makes noise, bring it along to get into the spirit of things. You could even bring an old Lowe's or Home Depot bucket and turn it upside down and use it as a drum. Be creative and have fun with this. That is next week. The next book study starts Tuesday, January 14th, and that will be held online. The book, Universal Human, gives us new tools to grow spiritually and shows us how to transform everyday experiences of hopelessness, emptiness, and pain into fulfillment, meaning, and joy. Think about that. It could be a reinforcement of whatever you signed on to this morning. You could register at the sign-up table or RSVP directly to Deb McQuaid so she can provide you with the Zoom link. That concludes our announcements. And so with that, it's time for a congregational blessing. I invite everybody to return to your feet, please. Turn to one another or across the aisle as we confer the blessing, and then remain standing for a prayer of protection and our peace song. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you and know that you are empowered to do great things. And our prayer of protection, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.